Welcome back to From the Newsroom. I'm your host, Olivia Talk. Let's talk, Red Hawks. This week's story is about Professor of Hospitality Management, Dr. Nick Johnston's talk, Should You Judge a Bottle by Its Label? You probably already do. The talk was held at Ebb and Flow in downtown Cape Girardeau on February 16th. Dr. Johnston had this to say about how we perceive a product in terms of quality.
Honestly, the grant folks were just interested in packaging and perceptions. And I thought, well, you know what? I want to apply kind of my culture and psychology stuff to this packaging, and I want to dive into why people are infatuated or not with alternative packaging in general. So what are we talking about? And we'll talk about it in just a second here, but basically Franzia. And what are we really talking about when how people are evaluating it, and are you judging a book by its cover or a product by its label? Is what you're doing is looking for clues, or cues as they call them, for quality indicators, right? You're looking at price point. If something's $9.99 versus $11.99, right? You're looking at, does it have a screw top? Am I gonna buy a $50 bottle of screw top wine? Maybe if I recognize the label, maybe not, right? Maybe you want that when you open that wine, right? Maybe you're just drinking it at home, so you buy the box. Most of you, as research said, will drink sweet red wine when you go home tonight, but you won't drink it here in front of all of us. You're out there. Don't lie, you're sitting out there. You're sitting out there. So what we're really talking about is perception of these products and perception of quality. And when we're talking about perception of the products, we can look in the product, right? Like, does the wine taste good? What's the structural components of the wine, right? We can evaluate the wine, but that's after we consume it. So wine's an interesting product where we are obviously drawn to it. There's so many different varieties out there, right? There's over 1,000 different varietals of just one species that we use, right? So there is just a plethora, and I use that word very generously, plethora of choices of wine out there.
Arrow reporter Natalie Ahrens attended the lecture and had this to say.
Like he mentioned, how we are, if we compare a wine bottle to a box of wine, we're more influenced on, like he asked the audience, what are we more influenced to bring to a party? Most of the audience members said a bottle of wine. We judge a product by the looks and the quality of it. So when we compare a box of wine to a bottle of wine, we're going to go more towards the bottle of wine because just of the looks, and we just, in our brains, it just influences us on that it'll have more quality than the box of wine.
Be sure to check out Natalie Ahrens' full story on the Southeast Arrow website at southeastarrow.com. Well, that's a wrap for this week, Red Hawks. Tune in next Saturday at noon for a brand new From the Newsroom. And be sure to follow us on our social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. For the Southeast Arrow, I'm Olivia Talk.